Citizens of the world, Civilization 7 is being revealed, and I wanted to react to it, show it to you, and see what we're really getting into, because there's so much anticipation. Are they gonna be like Civ 6? Are they gonna be like Civ 5? Are they gonna do something completely new and different? And we're about to see the actual gameplay reveal live stream, which they're showing off for the first time. But before the stream has gone live properly, you can see on their Threads account that they're just showing some gameplay, some quick snippets of gameplay right here. Look at this. Look at this. They're actually just showing off the game a little bit early, and we can see so many little details. We could spend hours analyzing each one of these little scenes, but I think as a whole, I'm gonna say that a lot of people are gonna be happy with the visual style. Because remember, despite the amount of complaints and hate that Civ 6 gets, it is very clearly the most successful Civ game ever. And there were a lot of concerns because Civ 7 was said to be releasing on consoles on launch day as well. Now we know graphics settings are a thing, but you know, it's gonna launch on the Switch, you know? So people are worried, how is it gonna look? Is it gonna be graphically outdated on launch day? And as we can see, from what I can tell, people might initially say, oh look, obviously the hate for Civ 6 made them go back to realistic. But honestly, if you look at it, it sort of seems like to be a mix between the Civ 6 and Civ 5 art styles, right? It's sort of realistic, but it's still got a lot more vibrancy, a lot more color than Civ 5. And they're really trying to serve the best of both worlds. The best of Civ 6, the visual style, and the best of Civ 5. Now remember, visual style, artistic direction, it's not graphics, right? It's not graphical fidelity. It's not the number of polygons. It's an artistic approach, right? You have watercolor paintings and you have pointillism. They're two different approaches to art. And Civ 7 seems to be mixing the Civ 6 vibrancy, the Civ 6 colorfulness and liveliness with the Civ 5 sort of level of realism. And I think it's working out quite well, you know? I mean, like, I'm happy with the colors, I'm happy with the realism, I think it looks really good at first glance. This is the first time that I'm seeing it in motion. Just a few minutes ago, they put up screenshots on the Steam page. And that was the first proper view of gameplay. But it was static screenshots. We went through this in the past. Static screenshots don't really show how it looks. A lot of people hated Civ 6's art style when it was just screenshots, and it shifted more positive as it got into motion. So here we're seeing Civ 7 in motion, and what do you think of what you're seeing so far? Now we're gonna see the full gameplay reveal after this, and you can see that the Steam page, just so you know, the game is meant to be launching in 2025. It's not going to be launching this year, but it will be launching in 2025, or if you're watching this in 2025, it's launching this year. But you can see they put up these screenshots, but nothing was in motion, so I was like, well, fine. Then we saw, oh, it's in motion. It's in motion. Look, there's a settler settling a city. So we're gonna go watch the full gameplay reveal. I'll sort of react to it, give my opinions and comments on it. I have a lot of experience covering Civ 6. I've played through all the Civ games, all the mainline Civ games at least, and I'm gonna have a lot of opinions and points to point out. So let's see how that goes. Okay, before the gameplay stream has gone live, they have just published the gameplay trailer. Look at this. This is full HD footage of the game. And I have to say, I'm not sure who the composer is. It might be who we expect, but the music is just, it's top notch. Look at this. Look at this footage. This looks incredible. Like, okay, it's a trailer, okay? Let's not get overly hyped. We don't know any of the gameplay just yet, and it's still some months away to release. And they did reveal a release date as well. You might have seen it already. But, I mean, just at first glance, with the epic music and the cinematic framing of Civ 7, this is a very good first impression. Living up to this hype and expectation they're gonna generate from this trailer, because people, I can tell, people are gonna love this. Like, I can read the vibes already from the Civ community. People are gonna love this trailer. It's gonna generate so much hype, but do keep in mind, ever since Civ 4, and maybe even Civ 3, Civ doesn't really, like, it's not considered good on release, almost ever, right? It's always, look at that, coming February 11th, 2025. February 11th, 2025. It's actually going to be earlier than I expected. I was expecting March. Then they're doing February. Okay, it's early in the year. So keep in mind, Civ games are almost never considered good on release. If Civ 7 does that, it's gonna be surprising. It always takes 2 years and 2 expansions before Civilization is considered good. And, well, let's just expect it to need some work on release. This trailer is not showing off any bugs, gameplay imbalances, massive game-breaking exploits, missing civilizations. What DLC are they gonna sell us, you know? Will we even get all the Civs on release? We don't know any of that, right? We know how Civ is gonna operate, but this trailer is hype as hell. But yeah. Okay, let's see the actual gameplay reveals, so we'll actually then see some of the more nuanced details, and still curated, keep that in mind. What they show us today is going to be very curated, but we'll see a bit more detail of what the gameplay is going to be like, and what we can hopefully expect in February. Okay, here we go, the stream's starting. Show us what you've been hiding from us this whole time. Show us. Here we go. Bring it on. Rating pending. Okay. Is it gonna start? Oh. Oh yes, the narrator. Who's narrating? What a question to open with. Who is it? Oh, we've all had a lot of discussions. Oh, here we go. Who is that?
Throughout our history,
Oh!
have done extraordinary things. Illuminating our
It's Brienne of Tarth. It's
movements.
the principal from Wednesday.
Created.
Oh, what a choice! Oh, that's actually
The indestructible. Ordinary people chose to change the world.
that's actually such a good choice, because we were thinking, you know, because for example, Ara History Untold has Agadashlu,
And if there's hope for one of us,
which would have been a great choice, but she's already associated with Ara.
Civilization.
Oh, that's
Something you believe in.
oh, that's actually a great choice. I don't think anyone was expecting her. If you were expecting her, let me know. But that's such an amazing choice. Oh, it sort of looked like Civ 4, and then it looked like Civ 3.
Hello, Civ fans.
Hello.
On behalf of all of us here at Firaxis Games, we'd like to welcome you to a first look at the next chapter in our Civilization franchise.
The future of Civilization.
Civilization 7. What could be greater than putting the entire history of the world into a video game and make it fun?
But how do you do that 7 times and make it different?
Later, it's because of your passion. This is by far the biggest.
Okay, these are some new shots here.
We've ever made at Firaxis.
Okay.
It represents a significant gameplay evolution for the Civ franchise. And it's a game we plan to support for many years to come.
Oh, we could spend hours analyzing.
The driving force that inspired our biggest new feature. You'll see your Civ world brought to life like never before.
Wonders?
And you'll discover why Civilization 7 promises to be a revolutionary new chapter in this
France
franchise that
confirmed.
we all love so dearly. Please enjoy.
Your goal in Civ is to build an empire to stand the test of time.
They keep saying test of time, like they didn't forget that Civ 2 test of time was a thing.
Across the entire span of human history. You shape your empire piece by piece.
Oh, more scenes to analyze.
Technologies you want to research, engaging in diplomacy.
Okay, this is how diplomacy looks. These are the leaders. This is how they look in diplomacy.
To war.
In
I'm
every
assuming
civilization
Cleopatra?
game, your empire has always been represented by a single civilization. You play through the entire span of history as that one civilization.
Are they gonna do a
This
humankind?
time around, we want to take you on a new journey.
For the first time ever in Civilization
They're doing a
the
humankind.
story of your empire isn't just that of a single civ.
They're doing a humankind.
Several connected together through time.
They're doing a humankind.
New age of human advancement, you'll select a new civ to represent your empire. You'll build on
They're doing a humankind.
achievements while unlocking new gameplay bonuses to reinforce or pivot your
The,
strategy.
the two series really do just copy from each other, huh?
To show you what we mean, let's take you through the story of one such empire.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Is it a humankind? I think it's a humankind. People were already saying at the initial screenshots and trailer reveal that it looks a little bit humankind. The painterly effect,
The age of antiquity,
that mix of realism and color.
where humanity begins to take its first steps into the annals of history.
Okay.
The great pharaoh, Hatshepsut,
Hatshepsut, it's not
leads the
Cleopatra.
civilization of ancient Egypt.
Okay. So you could start as ancient
The
Egypt.
arid desert lands and a winding river, the seeds of our people are rooted in
Oh,
sand.
look at the tiles. Look at the fog of war.
To discover
Ooh.
what treasures
It's not clouds
lie
anymore.
beyond.
It's not a
brave
paint,
scout
like an
begins to
unpainted map.
survey and map the surrounding lands.
Oh, the UI. There's so much UI to
As
look
our
at.
population grows, a new granary is built to store food for hungry mouths.
The granary goes on
Its
the
location decided,
granary.
district is formed, and construction begins. With more food available, our people look to make improvements to the land.
The granary is a district?
Ancient fruit, ripe for cultivating, is spotted. Dates will provide more
Okay.
sustenance,
Cultivation of a tile, that's expected.
and their sweetness will make the people happy.
The granary being a tile makes it feel like the cities are even more unstacked, which I know a lot of people are not gonna like, but depends how it works out.
Our city continues to grow as more urban and rural developments
spreading.
spring forth.
They've gone even more
Pursue
unstacked.
advancements in technology to serve the needs of our people. Breakthroughs in irrigation further enhance our food production.
Tech quotes. I know a lot of you particular about tech
Our
quotes,
ability to traverse the nearby
but they might not be final. Work in progress, subject to change.
it is now possible to journey further and expand our
Embarking is a thing.
With a deft hand, our scout travels along a navigable river.
Navigable
Their
rivers!
tenacity is rewarded.
Navigable rivers are back!
Of a breathtaking
They act like roads!
This natural wonder of the world attracts the imagination of our people, and brave settlers begin the long
When was the
trek
last time we had navigable rivers? Civ 2?
empire.
Because they weren't in Civ 3, right?
A new
Civ
town
2.
is established near the majestic falls.
Okay, founding a new city.
Town starts from humble beginnings and is initially used to gather nearby resources.
Yeah, it immediately starts
In the
spreading.
future, this town will grow large enough to specialize and gain its own identity as a city.
Oh, they're doing a humankind again.
Expansion does not go unnoticed.
Founding a city is not founding a city. You found a colony and it evolves into a city. It's another thing that's how it worked in humankind.
Independent power. Initial hostilities are tempered over
What
time
is this screen?
as friendly relations begin to form.
Was that
Peace
a
does
kind of
not dampen
diplomacy
our
with
ambitions.
neutrals?
Our
Barbarians?
people strive forth to create great wonders the world has never seen before.
So wonders take a tile as well. Yep. The cities are even more unstacked. Look at this cities. They're huge. They're so spread out.
Explore the continent. We encounter new civilizations.
Is that a
They are
trade
eager
caravan?
to engage in a bartering of ideas
Ashoka?
and goods.
Confirmed.
Trade routes are established, providing mutual access to each empire's resources. But our rapid growth does not go unnoticed.
You can see the resources in top
Our
left.
neighbors' ambitions rival our own, setting us on a collision course.
This scene also is kind of Humankind, where you have the two leaders talking to each other. It's just they're a bit more 3D coming into the middle. There's a lot of Humankind in Civ 7, huh?
Led by formidable commanders who spur our forces quickly across the land.
Okay, these things they always do some cinematic stuff with this. This is not how it works in a turn-based game. Unless...
The battles are fierce.
Oh, do they have like ongoing animations of units engaged with each other?
Victorious.
District captured. So you capture districts of a city until you reach the city center, I guess?
This age have shaken our mighty Egyptian empire to its core.
Now, because the cities are so unstacked, it's actually a little hard to see what I'm even looking at. It looks like a real city, but as a game, it's very hard to read. It might take some time. Age of Antiquity, huh? Okay.
New age of human advancement approaches.
Age of Exploration.
Of exploration. A new age brings forth new challenges.
Legacies, yep. This is how it works in Humankind.
New technologies to research.
Yep. So interestingly, it's AAA Humankind.
Pivot and
I like the verticality of the mountains.
What kind of empire will you
But
make?
the leaders are still historical
What
figures.
strategies will you pursue?
Tilantogo?
The future is yours to create.
So like if you start as Hatshepsut and you become a new civilization, you get a new like you can't stay as Hatshepsut. Was it Hatshepsut? I can't remember. What? How does it
Brought to life by our wonderful new narrator Gwendolyn Christie is just
Gwendolyn
one
Christie.
potential path you can take in Civilization 7. Ages are inspired by a transformational idea for Civ, that history is built in layers.
Ages were always kind of a thing, and ages are very clearly a thing in Humankind.
Grown, changed, and evolved over time.
Think of the first civilizations of the world as creating an initial foundation. As a civilization grows, new layers are added to that foundation in the form of things like technologies, schools of thought.
It's a bit weird
At some point,
how much of this is like Humankind.
that divides their time.
It's a little bit weird, honestly.
Happens, these past layers don't disappear. Instead, they now serve as a new foundation for the new civilization. As the cycle repeats, connecting the past, present, and future together.
Instead
Even
of
the
playing
painterly
one
cinematics.
civilization across every age,
Which independent powers surround you?
Okay, so those are screens for independent powers. It's like a diplomacy screen with an independent.
We'll have 3 ages for you to play.
Just 3.
Antiquity age.
Oh, okay.
Agricultural societies begin to cluster into urban centers.
Oh, that actually changes a lot. Because Humankind is a lot of ages. Just 3.
When the desire for precious commodities from distant lands spurs empires to stretch.
Okay,
across
so
the great oceans.
with just 3, that means you have you have 3 sets of civilizations to choose from.
Conflict, where mankind goes from the development of the steam engine.
But the tricky thing and the problem with Humankind is when you went from age to age, you felt like you had no continuity. So they haven't really addressed how that continuity is gonna go. Like, if you're ancient Egypt, and then you go into the exploration age and you're like
tied together and came as a
England or
package
something,
deal
like
of
that feels
agendas,
very
abilities, and
disjointed.
more. With civs being exclusive to ages, we're excited to introduce a new innovation for leaders. For the first time in franchise
Okay, here,
history,
the leaders.
leaders are now selected independently from civilizations.
Okay,
Now mix and match unique parts of different civs and leaders.
so the leader stays the same.
All new strategic combinations, staying true to Civ's spirit of experimentation. For players who want to stick to more historical pairings, a useful indicator will appear.
Okay,
on the
there's like a
sideboard.
suggestion.
We're also taking the opportunity to expand who we consider to be a leader in Civilization 7. We'll continue to have traditional heads of state, such as Hatshepsut,
Okay, yes.
but we're also excited to have new leaders in areas such as philosophy, religion, science, and more.
Oh, they're expanding who they consider a leader. Okay, so it's not just gonna be heads of state. I mean, that sort of makes sense because, for example, Gandhi
The theme of evolution
was becoming the odd one out. Gandhi was becoming the odd one out, and it felt like
the new leader grows as well.
he didn't really belong in the rest of the lineup anymore. But now they're adding in philosophers and other figures as leaders. So Gandhi fits back in.
Rewards for researching certain technologies and civics. Overall,
Honestly speaking, that tech tree looked a little, or that civics tree looked a little boring. I have to say that. Like, some of this UI, I hope they zhuzh it up a bit, because the gameplay the visuals look great, but a lot of this UI feels very, it's a gray gradient, you know? It seems a little too minimal, but I can tell they're still working on the UI. The margins are kind of all over the place. UI scale's kind of all over the place. So that's fine, but hopefully it gets better.
In the new age, you'll choose parts of your past Civ to carry forward into the new one.
Yeah, legacy traits, yeah, that's how it works in humankind.
Filled with new independent powers to befriend, new resources to acquire, and new discoveries to be made.
During an age transition, there are a few factors that determine which Civ you can evolve into. This includes any historical connections between your previous and future Civ,
Okay,
your choice of leader,
there are
and
limitations.
even certain gameplay decisions that you made in the past age.
So you can't just go from one to
Every
any.
Civ plays differently. Across your game, you might want to stay as true to history as possible, only selecting Civs that have historical ties to each other.
Requires 3 horses to go Mongolia. Oh.
There are so many possible
unlock
paths to explore, so many different
possibilities.
choices you can make.
So it's a bit more controlled than humankind. And your leader stays the same, even though they're historical figures and you're changing it to other civilizations. So they're trying to solve the problem with humankind where you just feel disjointed and disconnected as you go through the ages. And it might work, it still feels kind of weird.
We're hoping that the players can look into this game, see the diametric detail on this, and tell their own stories that they've never told before.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, the visuals look... Like, the gameplay visuals, I think everyone is going to be happy with. Like, it just really does balance that... It's that middle ground between Civ 6 and Civ 5. It's realistic, but it maintains the color. The verticality of the mountains looks amazing. I don't know if you're going to be able to zoom in, like, this far, I guess, in-game. I don't know if they're gonna have camera mode or something like that, but like visually it looks amazing. Bit hard to read what is the city, what buildings there are. It's gonna be quite UI reliant when trying to understand your city, right? And also, the units do also look great. The combat looks great, like all of this is fine. And it does seem like they took a page out of Humankind with the visuals as well, you know? It's like, I think everyone's gonna be happy with pretty much everything, except maybe the 3 eras and the changing of civilizations. Like, that was the sort of thing that felt the weirdest with Humankind. And them bringing it here, it's gonna create those same concerns. It's like, how are they gonna make it feel better? Reducing the eras to 3 eras does make sense. And then limiting who you can evolve into, and also keeping your historical leader through the all 3 eras. It does sort of help control it, but I don't know whether it's something that can really be controlled. It feels like they're trying to control it to keep that sense of continuity through the game, so you don't feel detached from your own civilization. Because you go into a game in Civ, you're like, I am the Egyptians! And you're Egyptians through the whole thing. But now you go from Egyptian to Songhai, and it's like, okay, your leader is still the same, but are you still, like, you feel a bit more pulled out, right?
Music also plays an important role in bringing up,
like, it's unclear if there's an option to, like, no, you won't be able to play Egypt the whole way through, because oh, it is this Christmas. You won't be able to stay as the Egyptians through all 3 eras. But I guess you could have game modes which are specific eras only, like only the Antiquity era, and you have a game of only Antiquity Civ 7.
We have
I guess you could do that.
From gameplay deep dives to first looks at new leaders and civilizations, to what you can expect.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see a lot more in terms of how all of this works, because everything was feeling like great, Be careful of pre-ordering. Be careful. It could take 2 years into expansions. Oh yeah, there's always an exclusive Civ you get if you pre-order, right? Napoleon confirmed.
Persona for Napoleon in Civilization 7.
Emperor Persona? Okay.
If you use that same 2K account to play
But yeah,
Civ
everything
6,
was feeling great, great, great. Oh, they got skins for leaders. Expect skins, lots of skins for leaders. Everything was feeling great, 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 great. But then when it got to the, oh, your civilizations change from era to era across these 3 eras, then it started to feel like, okay, that's a big challenge. And also that feeling like the more I saw, the more I saw humankind. And humankind was fine, right? It was generally good game, but it didn't reach the level of Civ, right? So Civ 7 taking pages out of humankind, it does create that concern. Like, they're taking things from something that couldn't catch up with it, and they want to use those things to propel itself higher. That is a big challenge, and it's gonna be very, very interesting to see if they can pull it off. And I don't know if they can, but we're gonna have to see what they reveal over the coming months.